Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are going to walk you through this eyeshadow tutorial right here. I am obsessed with this. I was very inspired by somebody on Instagram. Her name is Hamal Patel. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm not, somebody correct me below. Benefit posted this picture of her. I think she used their something from their brows, but Benefit posted this beautiful picture right here, and I was super inspired by the colors, the spotlight eye, and I've been really wanting to get out of my rut of like peach eyeshadow, get out of my comfort zone, and this really pushed me over the edge. So go follow her if you don't. I'm definitely following her now. She is an amazing artist. I'm so happy that Benefit reposted that picture because I am super inspired by her. So go check that out. But today I'm gonna walk you through my interpretation of it. It's pretty simple, but it's obviously tailored towards hooded eyes. Don't mind my eyelash on this eye that's kind of coming off. I'm taking all of this beautiful makeup off in like 5 minutes after I'm done with this video, so I didn't want to bother reattaching it. But we are using the Blood Sugar palette once again. I mentioned this in my outro, but I know people have mixed feelings about Jeffree, and some people don't want to buy his product, and that's totally okay. You can find very similar shades somewhere else, but he makes dang good products, and I am so impressed with this, from the pigment to the lack of fallout to just the all over performance. I am obsessed with this. I've done like 3 or 4 looks already on my channel, but today we're doing this one right here. I absolutely love it. I wish I had something to do right now because I want to show it off to the world, but hopefully some of the world will see this YouTube video and you guys will be able to do it too. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieved this look right here, go ahead and keep watching. Fingers crossed we don't get watery eyes and patchy makeup through this tutorial. I know my hair is looking kind of whack right now, but I just needed to get it out of my face, so ignore that, and we are going to go ahead and get started. So the first 2 shadows I'm gonna work with are Cake Mix and Tongue Pop, these 2 right here, and I'm gonna kind of just go between both of them with a big fluffy brush. Whatever you have will work. I'm gonna grab my typical LA Girl 202 brush. I finally memorized the name of this because I use it so much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of dip into one and then dip into the other, and then I'm gonna start to just kind of build out my crease. Once again, hooded eyes, so I kind of tilt my head back a little bit. I've been trying to not raise my eyebrows so much, so I'm tilting my head back and just kind of putting it where my orbital bone naturally sits rather than where my crease is, because when I close my eyes like this, it completely hoods over. So I'm gonna fast forward through this, but you guys can kind of pick up the tips as to what I do as I fast forward. I'm also going to start to bring that down into the outer third and inner third. I've been doing that lately with my transition shades, and I just think that it looks a lot more smooth as far as blending. So I'm going to bring it down in both these areas, and then I'm also going to go in with Ouch, which is a little more of a brownish shade, kind of over this a little bit later, but you'll see when we get there. I'm also gonna grab my MAC 222, which is a little more precise than the LA Girl brush, as you can see right here, dipping into those same 2 colors, and that's what I'm gonna use to really kind of get in my inner corner here, because the LA Girl is just slightly too large for me. All right, so like I said, now I'm gonna dip into Ouch, which is a little bit more of a like camel shade, and with that LA Girl 202, I'm just gonna kind of put that on the outer edges here to kind of get like a nice little fade of color. Not totally necessary, but I do think that it helps with blending. So see how I'm just kind of going right along the edges of where I just put Cake Mix and Tongue Pop, just to kind of add a little more definition. And I'm gonna bring that guy right in here to where my nose kind of starts to contour in. And I'm really using minimal product on my brushes. The Jeffree Star shadows are really pigmented as is, so you really want to just grab a little tiny bit And note that I'm still leaving some space right here for my brow bone highlight. I'm not gonna put anything there, but I always like to leave a little dimension. All right, so next step we're gonna do is start to kind of add the purples that I have on this side. I hope you guys don't mind that I do one eye and then the other. I like to do it on one eye first because it takes too much time to go back and forth, and my camera shuts off after about 20 minutes because it overheats, which is super annoying. So let me know what you guys think of that below. But anyway, we're gonna now start to go into extraction and coma. So extraction is right here, coma's here. Starting with extraction, we're gonna start to kind of build out the outer corner and the inner corner. And I'm just gonna use that on a flat brush. You can use a flat packing brush, something like this brush right here, which is really small, works really, really well for hooded eyes. But I'm gonna start with this brush right here. This is I have no idea. I've had this brush for probably about 10 years. And I'm gonna start with that one with extraction, which is the lighter shade. And I'm gonna start to build out that outer corner. And this is not a densely packed brush whatsoever. And there's very, very minimal fallout with this palette. So that's nice because I'm not like applying a whole bunch of color at once. I'm kind of like working my way there and I'm not getting fallout, so win-win. Now with this spotlight eye, I'm gonna kind of go like, you could see smaller to larger, so I'm kind of putting this in a V shape. I mean, I kind of always go in a V shape with my outer corner, but I'm not bringing it up super, super high, because I have hooded eyes and it's kind of gets heavy pretty quickly with hooded eyes, so I prefer to just keep the colors closer to the lash line area. And I'm really trying to do this slowly. And then I'm taking the smaller brush, the MAC brush, dipping into the same color, extraction, and we're gonna work that on the inner corner. Also using that to kind of fine tune over here. All right, so then going back to my LA Girl, the big fluffy brush, I'm just gonna take that. I have like a million brushes in my hands right now, and kind of start to just blend out the edges slightly. You don't have to do this right now. I just like prefer to blend in small, what am I trying to say? I just like to like blend, add, blend, add, blend, add. You do what works best for you. Still sticking with extraction. It's all about the blending game with hooded eyes. All right, so then I'm gonna go into the darker purplish shade with the smaller brush once again, Coma, and we're gonna emphasize the outer corner and inner corner. And I'm doing this slightly closer towards like the inner corner on the outer corner and on the inner corner towards the outer corner, if that makes sense. So there's like a natural blend of extraction. So I'm not starting all the way over here, I'm starting in slightly. And that's just gonna help with the blend. Following that same V shape. Just slightly more inwards. Taking just a little bit of extraction on the MAC 222 and just really blending that. Now because I have hooded eyes, you can see I'm kind of avoiding really taking that darker color extraction and Coma through my crease, because that makes my hooded eyes look really, really, really heavy. It is not flattering at all on me. If that works for you, definitely do it, but it just doesn't work for me, so I avoid that. Instead, I emphasize, as you could see, the outer corner by kind of lifting the eye. So I'm happy with that for now. So we're gonna go ahead and like cut the crease. If you didn't check out my last video, check that out. I kind of go in depth onto how I cut the crease. This is slightly different because I'm keeping it closer to the lash line and I'm not doing like the look up thing. You'll know what I'm talking about if you see my last video. But we're basically gonna just apply the concealer. I have Tarte Shape Tape on the back of my hand to where we haven't applied any shadow for the most part. Now with Jeffree shadows, you don't really need to apply concealer. They are super pigmented, but I just wanna do it for that extra pop. So I'm gonna dip into the Shape Tape and I'm gonna show you what I do. I basically dip and then take most of the product off because I don't wanna go in too heavy. So starting close to the lash line, we're gonna just start to cut the crease a little bit, but not really, I guess. We're just kind of like blanking out the area for this one. So I'm gonna kind of follow the same shape where it goes smaller to larger, or like wider rather, as I move up, and see how there's not a ton of product. That's exactly what I want. Not trying to go too heavy, and it's very hard to do this while filming for some reason. Probably because I'm using the tiniest mirror. So I'm really not taking this too high up. Just to where my natural crease is, right there. Doesn't have to be perfect up here. And then I'm gonna take a pencil brush. I'm using just a Morphe brush. This is a, what are you? A Morphe M431, and I'm gonna dip into Sweetener, which is this shade right here. Beautiful, beautiful shade. And I looked up, so I accidentally transferred a little bit of concealer, but no big deal. I'm glad I only used a little product. So I'm gonna try to keep looking down, dip into Sweetener, and start to first apply that. I know it looks very, very stark right now, but don't worry. We'll blend all the way up to the creasy area. And then I'm going to just spray my brush with, this is some like setting spray, and I'm gonna dip back into Sweetener and we're gonna intensify that even more. Mostly towards the lash line. All right, so now we're gonna go back into Extraction, which is the lighter of the darker shades, and start to blend on top of here. So we get this like same kind of fade. And then I'm just going with the same pencil brush that I applied Sweetener with and just kind of like feathering the edges. Like I said in my last video, I don't like a super stark spotlight eye. I like it to be blended. Cool, so let's leave it at that for now. We might blend a little bit more, but I do want to get the lower lash line going. I think everything kind of comes together when you do the lower lash line. So I'm going to start with Ouch, which is the camel shade, and I'm going to start to work that under the eye first. And this is a more MAC 219, more MAC. Thought it was my Morphe, but it's not. And this is going to be pretty smoked out, so don't be afraid. And then with my Morphe G228, this flat brush right here, I'm gonna dip into Extraction and Coma and just really work that close to the lash line and wiggle. I kind of like pull it down slightly. And I'm gonna stop like where the iris of my eye stops. I'm gonna connect that up here. Just like that. Kind of round that out. And then back to the pencil brush to blend. And then on a clean pencil brush, I'm gonna dip into Cake Mix and Tongue Pop and just kind of work that along the outer edges to tie everything together. I've got a little bit of fallout I'm gonna sweep away. And then on my innermost corner, I'm actually gonna take Mary Luminizer, which is what's in my hand, and I'm gonna take that. I'm just gonna kind of wipe off the pencil brush that I was just using on my color switch thing right here, and I'm gonna throw that in the inner corner right here that has no product on it. Looks kind of highlighted already. This is looking beautiful, so I'm going to throw on a coat of mascara, some eyelashes, and then a nude liner just like I did right here, and I will meet you back here for finishing touches. But here's what everything is looking like right now. Gorgeous. All right, you guys, and this is the completed look. I am absolutely obsessed with this look. I realize my lash, especially on this side, could be on slightly better, but I'm taking all my makeup off after I film this video, so I hope it's okay that I didn't want to have to deal with re-sticking it on. It's not like the worst, but it's definitely not the best job of lash application. Although I really wish I did have something to do because this looks so good. I absolutely love this color scheme, and the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette does not disappoint. I know people have mixed feelings about him, but his products are damn good. I hope this video was helpful to some of you. I've really been trying to get out of my comfort zone and play with color a little bit more. As you guys know, I really love the neutrals, the peachies, the gold shades, but this is definitely a lot more daring for my kind of eyeshadow, and I really like it. I'm like sold on the Spotlight Eye. I think it really flatters my eye shape and really kind of like opens the eye and brings like focus to something. And I think it's just really working for me, which is why I've been doing it so often. So I hope you don't mind that. But yeah, thanks for spending some time with me today, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, as always, leave them below. I love to hang out in the comments, respond, talk to you guys. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It means the world to me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.